Good morning, children. How are you all? Fine? I hope you all are fine. And during this COVID-19, you take care of yourself and your family members. In previous videos, I explained about the three levels of the government. The Indian government functions at the three levels: central level, state level, and the local levels. And the government also consists of three branches. The three branches of the state government are legislature, executive, and the judiciary. The main function of the legislature is to make the laws. In previous video, I explained about the legislature, its two houses, Vidhan Sabha and the Vidhan Parishad. Their tenure period means working period of the members, and the qualifications of the members, and the main function of the legislature, making of a law. How a bill become a law. Now, second branch of the state government is the executive, and the main function of the executive is to implement the law which are made by legislature, because the main function of the legislature is to make the laws. But only legislature makes the law, but executive implemented the laws in the whole countries or in the particular area. Now, executive, the main function of the executive is to implement the law, and the executive consists of the governor, the chief minister, and the council of ministers. Executive, the state executive consists of the governor, the chief minister, and the council of ministers, means all the elected ministers. So what are the qualification? What are their working periods? What are their powers? Now we are going to study. First one is the governor. The governor is the constitutional head of a state. It means according to constitution, governor is the head of the state, and the entire administrative work, all administrative work runs in his or her name, means after his or her approval, after his or her approval, the work is implemented. So the entire administrative works runs in his or her names, means after his or her sign, when any bill or any policy made by the government, so it is implemented after the governor's sign. And the governor is appointed by the President of India. The governor of each state is appointed by the President of India on the advice of Prime Minister. Okay, who appointed the governor? The governor is appointed by the President of India on the advice of Prime Minister. And the term means working period. The term of governor is normally for 5 years. The governor work for 5 years. However, the president has the powers to remove the person before his or her tenure gets over. But before completing the working period or tenure, the president has power to remove the person from his or her post. And the governor can also be reappointed for another term. It is not compulsory. If once the person is appointed for 5 years, so he or she also can reappointed for another term. अगर एक बार गवर्नर अपॉइंट हो जाने के बाद वो नेक्स्ट अगले 5 सालों के लिए भी वो रीअपॉइंट हो सकता है. नाउ व्हाट आर द क्वालिफिकेशंस? एज अ बीइंग गवर्नर देयर आर सम qualifications should a person have. A person must be a citizen of India, should have completed 35 years of age. The person should Indian citizen. To become a governor, the person must be a Indian citizen. And he or she should have completed 35 years of age. And should not be convicted in a court of law. Means he or she should not have any criminal record or any record in a court, and should be a sound mind. Means the person should not have unsound mind. So these are the qualification. Means the person should not have mental or disorder. So the qualification of a governor, the first one is the person must be a citizen of India and should have completed 35 years of age. Second, the person should not have been convicted in a court of law. Means the person should not have any criminal record, and the person should not be a unsound mind. So these are the qualification. Now the powers. What are the powers of the governor? A governor is only the constitutional head of a state. He or she does not have any actual say in the running of the government. The governor is the only the constitutional head of the state. He or she does not have any actual say in the running of the government. The governor appoints the leader of the party that gets maximum seat after the election of Vidhan Sabha. After election of Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad, the governor appoints the leader of the party which get the maximum seat in the assembly as a chief minister. And on the advice of, after elected chief minister, on the advice of his or her, the governor appoints the council of ministers. Means the governor appoints another ministers at the certain high officials. It is the governor who convene or prorogues the assembly session. On the opening day, the governor addressed the joint session of legislature to brief them about the policies of the government. Before, means as the session started, the governor address means एड्रेस करना मतलब सबको संदेश देना, सबसे सबको बोलना. Address the joint session of the legislature to the brief means given in the short, given the rough idea them about the policies of the government. The judicial power of the governor includes reducing judicial punishment. Okay, and the governor has the judicial powers also, and he or she can reduce judicial punishment. The governor has discretionary powers like recommending president's rule in the state, and the governor also has discretionary powers means compulsory, like recommending president's rule in the state. On the advice of president, the governor can declare president's rule in the state. President rule is imposed Now, what is the president rule? The president rule is imposed in a state when no political party has majority support in the assembly. अब प्रेसिडेंट रूल कब लगाया जाता है? प्रेसिडेंट रूल उस समय लगाया जाता है जबकि किसी भी राज्य में कोई भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के पास मेजॉरिटी सपोर्ट नहीं होता, ताकि वो गवर्नमेंट बना सके और स्टेट को चला सके. एंड और the ruling party is dismissed from the government for mismanaging the state. To impose the president rule, there are some conditions. The first condition, the political party has no majority support. Second, when the ruling party is dismissed from the government for mismanaging the state. Okay, and in the or sometimes in the condition is critical. In this way, the president rules can be imposed in the state. If the president rule is imposed in the state, अगर किसी भी राज्य में राष्ट्रपति शासन लगा दिया जाता है, so it is the governor who runs the state on behalf of the president. Means वहाँ का फिर सारा काम गवर्नर देखता है on the behalf of the president. So this is about the governor's qualifications, powers of the governor. Now chief minister, the second main official is the chief minister. The leader of the party which has the majority in the assembly is appointed as the chief minister by the governor. After the election, which party gets the majority seats, so the member of that party, they elect their leaders as a chief minister, and this chief minister is appointed by the governor. On the advice of chief minister, the governor appointed other council of ministers, and the chief minister select the minister from among his or her colleagues in a legislature. Okay. And these ministers form the council of ministers or the state cabinet. After the appointment of the chief minister, the chief minister invited by the governor to form the new ministry, means to elect new ministers from among themselves, and in this way the council of minister or the state cabinet formed. The next main part of executive is the council of ministers. The council of ministers is the executive body of the state and carries out day-to-day administration of the state. Council of minister means ministers का जो council जो group है, council of ministers is the executive body. The main function of the council of ministers is to implement the law made by legislature and carries out the day-to-day administration of the state. It advises the governor on the important issues. The council of ministers give advice to the governor on the important issues. The council of ministers is answerable to the legislative house. There are two legislative houses, Vidhan Sabha and the Vidhan Parishad, and remain in the office as long as it has support. Of the majority of the assembly. The cabinet minister allocates portfolios. Portfolio means departments. The meaning of portfolios means departments. Then after the appointments of the chief minister appointed some ministers and allocates means given to the important or departments to the ministers, and the senior ministers are given the more important portfolios. Okay, and these portfolios or the important uh, departments are given to the senior ministers, like the home and the finance. The senior ministers form the cabinet. Most of the important decisions regarding the running of the government are taken by the chief minister and the cabinet ministers. Okay, now the third branch of the government is the judiciary. The judiciary at the state level. What is the main function of the judiciary? The main function of the judiciary is to punish the lawbreakers or ensure that they are protected. And it has also different levels. So judiciary at the state level, the judiciary consists of the high court, subordinate court like a district court, session court, provincial court, and the Nyay Panchayat. The judiciary also consists of high court, district court, session court, provincial court, and Nyay Panchayat. So these are the different levels of the judiciary at the state level. What are the different courts at the state level of the judiciary? High court, subordinate courts like a district and the session court, the provincial court, and the Nyay Panchayat. And the high court stand at head of the judiciary. The high court is the highest court at the state level, and it is headed by the chief justice and has many judges, and as the president of India consider necessary. Okay, so and the high court stand at the head of the judiciary at the state level. Means state level का जो सबसे ऊंचा वाला कोर्ट, सबसे ऊंचा कोर्ट है, उसे हम हाई कोर्ट कहते हैं. एंड द हाई कोर्ट इज हेडेड बाय द चीफ जस्टिस एंड हैज़ मैनी जजेस. And the high court can issue writs. Writs, WRITS, writs means order, government order, and directive to protect the fundamental rights of the citizen of the state, and it also has powers over all the subordinate courts in the state. Okay, so the high court also having the power to issue writs. Writs means government order and directive guidelines to protect the fundamental rights of the citizens, because fundamental rights are given by the constitution to all the states, and their people and their citizens. So it is the work of judiciary to protect the fundamental rights of the citizens of the state, and time to time the high court issues writs, orders, and the guidelines. So in this video, in this class, you studied about the executive. Executive consists of governor, chief minister, and the council of minister. About the governor, you studied about the qualification and the powers, and the chief ministers also qualification and powers and the main function. And the judiciary, about the judiciary, the judiciary at the state level consists of the high court, subordinate courts like the district court, session court, provincial court, and the Nyay Panchayat. And the high court stand at the head of the judiciary at the state level, and it is headed by the chief justice and has many judges. And the high court also has power to issue the writs. Writs means government order and directive guidelines, directive principle and the guidelines to protect the fundamental rights of the citizen of the state. Now, your homework, case study, I'm not going to explain. Now, your homework is to learn glossary. Glossary, legislature, the arm or the branch of the government that make laws. It consists mainly of the elected representative. Executive, the arm of the, in place of arm you can write branch of the government that enforce laws and takes policy decision. Judiciary, the arm of the government that administer justice. It consists of the hierarchy of courts. Bill, the draft of proposed law. Speaker, the head of any legislature house. Portfolio, department allotted to a minister. Cabinet, the group of senior ministers that handles all the important portfolio. So here this chapter is completed. Now your work, then you have to learn glossary, and children, you see the videos regularly. 7th class children are not seeing videos regularly. So you see the videos regularly and give your comments, because very soon or in the next month of October, first week, your first term exam is going to start. So you complete your work, written work, as well as you see the videos, and whatever doubt you have you can ask in my WhatsApp number, whatever doubt you have. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.